This is a short introduction to Section 3 of the application form for project grants and grants of excellence for the Icelandic Research Fund, grant year 2017. In Section 3.1, you select the institute that will be responsible for the accounting of the project. In most cases, the name and email address of the person responsible for project accounting will be auto-completed. If it is not auto-completed, then please enter this information manually. Please note that grants can only be administered by Icelandic institutes. In Section 3.2, you will enter the total amount of costs associated with necessary supplies for the project, with the exception of costs associated for contracted services, overheads and facilities. Equipment costs of up to 2 million Icelandic krona can be included in the proposal for the total project period. Operational expenses and their relation to the proposed activities must be justified in detail in the cells provided. Price quotes should be uploaded in Section 3.5. Please note that all unexplained costs will be rejected. In Section 3.3, you enter the cost of work that is not carried out by the participants of the project, but is necessary for the progression of the project. Publication costs of up to 500,000 Icelandic krona during the project period can also be applied for under this item. Contracted services and their relation to the proposed activities must be justified in detail, and price quotes must be uploaded in Section 3.5 when appropriate. No overhead expenses can be claimed for on contracted services. In Section 3.4, you enter travel costs associated with the project. In Section 3.5, you upload all relevant price quotes. In Section 3.6, you can apply for overhead costs for this project. The overhead can be up to 25% of the project cost. The overhead amount will be added to the project cost, and this means that the total amount of the grant, with the overhead included, may be higher than the maximum amount for a given grant type specified in the handbook. You will need to explain the overhead cost in detail in the relevant cells. Please note that costs associated with contracted services are not eligible for overhead. And finally, in Section 3.7, you will find the budget plan for the whole project, which has been compiled automatically from the information you have provided in the application form.